Good morning and welcome to the morning show with Angel and Tina. And Tina, look at our guests in their like morning show studio.
I know. I think we need to step our game up a little bit because these people they literally look like a morning talk show with their little chairs and their background.
They are the hosts, right? Like we do have Eric and Dr. Sakeisha Hylick. They are the hosts of their own radio show, their own podcast, their own TV show, their own morning. They got it all going on. And look at their setup. Oh my gosh, you guys are awesome. Good morning.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, so this is a new setup for you guys since the last time I saw you. Okay, so tell us what's happening here.
Well, actually we're transitioning. We still have the radio show, but we're transitioning into streaming TV because we wanted to be able to connect with our audience, just expand our offerings, expand the manner in which we're connecting with clients, and just being able to take the message in a different direction.
Yes, we want to expand. See if we can expand our audience and our platform.
She's like, talk to them.
Like our audience and our platform. Okay, so I want to talk about all the good stuff that you're going, but let's go a little technical. What kind of camera? What kind of what are you doing for audio?
Okay, because he has this little remote thing, and all of a sudden the camera goes. Okay, yeah. So tell us all the details behind the scenes of how you got all this set up.
Well, we did some investing into a better quality camera, which is actually production grade. It's when we can actually film and apply filters, so it's ready to be filmed for Netflix, Hulu, or even documentaries.
So it's good for HD, and
yes.
It still does some of the filtery stuff for TV.
And they're all mic'd up too. They are completely mic'd.
Okay, where are you? Are you in your house? Do you have a studio? Is this in the garage, the corner of the bedroom? What do you got?
No, this is actually our theater room. So we just kind of set it up so we can have a more comfortable set to do shows with.
What does the lighting look like? Do you guys have the 2 panel lights, or do you guys have a big ring light? So it looks like you guys have a lot of light.
Well, yeah, we have the professional grade LEDs that come for.
He's like, yeah, we have the professional this and the professional that, professional mic,
LED
professional
lights,
camera.
I'm like, Tina, don't ask me because I have no idea. I just know 2 of those little box-looking lights and one of these big glaring.
Oh, that's what Angel has. She has the box-looking lights.
I do.
Yeah.
I do. Right. Yeah. So we have a studio now that we want to turn into a room that we can turn into a studio with a whole backdrop.
Awesome.
And but it's baby steps, right? As you elevate a little bit here and you elevate a little bit there. Do you change out the chairs or the backdrop for your different shows, or is this your core setup?
Well, we actually going to have 2 sets. These are new chairs, and then this is a new backdrop. We have another set that we have around the corner. Yes, in progress.
It's we have 2 different sets. This is for the more relaxed set. And then we have this set that you can choose from. So whichever set you would like. Angel, I think we need to up our game just a tad.
I want here's this setup, and then on that, over there, I want a different one for a different.
Exactly, but it's takes time to put all the pieces together.
It does.
And since it's kind of half man cave and half setup, I was kind of able to convince him we should use these chairs. You can use them for the set.
Wait, you're getting a little bit more of my man cave than I told you could have.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I'm excited. I'm really, really excited.
Where are you guys coming from?
Oh, we're in Orlando, Florida.
In Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
Why did I think that you
were? I'm in Orlando now. Where are you guys?
We're right next to Disney.
We're right next.
She's right next to Disney.
Yeah.
We're like
That would be crazy if you guys lived like on the same street.
I was gonna ask you for your address so I could put it in, but I remember we're live, so I won't
don't ask.
Yeah, we'll text it to you.
But I wonder how close we are to each other. I'm learning.
Yeah, remember that we're live, Angel.
I'm learning the area, right? And
Okay.
It's still very complicated to me because in Denver, our streets ran like on a grid, north, south, like they were just on a grid, and the streets went all the way through. The mountains were on the west, so it was just so easy to navigate. Here, there's lakes everywhere. The roads all curve and turn, and I have no idea what direction is. My sense of, and of course I don't get out very much because, I'm a mole, right? It's COVID and I'm not out and about. And so my sense of direction is completely off. And yesterday we were out to dinner. We went out. My son started working at the Olive Garden on International Drive.
Oh, okay. We know what it is.
Okay. So
we know where that's at.
I was like, I know this is the road to the airport. Oh my gosh, this is the convention center. I have an idea. I think I have an inkling of where we are, and I'm starting to put pieces together. So.
That's funny, Angel, because I'm still in Atlanta. I'm leaving today back home, but my girlfriend that I'm staying with, we went to Myrtle Beach together, and we had so much fun. But we both realized that we are both geographically challenged. You remember when I told you that we were walking down the beach and we had the fire going because we were walking in our bathing suits, and we went like 2 miles past our hotel, and we were like, where do we live? And we had no idea. And she's like, I'm geographically challenged. And I looked at her and I was like, me too. And she goes, great.
never get home. Well, Tina, the fact that you can be in studio with us on location in Atlanta, working with your laptop,
right?
Like your temporary lighting, like that's pretty impressive too.
Yeah,
so we've got the whole gamut going on.
Right? It's good when you can work remotely,
Absolutely.
people are like, hey, can you come over here? I'm like, yeah, as long as I have Wi-Fi, I'm good. I can do my show. I can be on calls. And
the other day they had to replace our cable line or whatever, I don't know, something. And so I actually had to do phone calls on the phone, right now when you're doing phone calls. Right. But no, it was it's different.
Okay, but you got to tell them the real truth though. She got her internet off and she's on her balcony overlooking her pool and she's in a 70-degree sunny weather on the phone.
I do think I do think I'm going to start working outside. The weather here. How long have you guys lived here? It is amazing.
Well, let's ask her that in July and August when it's the hot months in Orlando.
I don't care.
Super hot.
2 months, you have to suffer to have absolute perfection like this.
Yeah.
This is amazing. I keep calling back to Denver and they're like freezing and it's cold and it's
they're like in 3 feet of snow. I'm like, Angel, you miss Denver yet?
I know they say it's gonna be miserable. But we've been here pretty much we visited in September. We came out here. I didn't see it in October, but November, the weather is amazing.
Yes.
That's why we have so many snowbirds, as we call it. They come here or they have a second home here. And because it's beautiful tropical weather, and then you have all the theme parks. It's just family oriented. So, it's the
I know we went over to that icon.
Oh, Icon Park. Oh yeah.
Oh, it's like Las Vegas. It's like Las Vegas over there. Like all the lights and all the restaurants and all the stuff that you can do. It's like, I'm still discovering. So I'm that newbie. I'm the person that goes into the dollar store and goes, oh, that's $1. That's $1.
Oh,
this is $1.
my
She read the
Have you
dollar
been
store,
to?
and then she
you
says
been
it's
to-
$111.67, and you're like, what did I buy?
Oh God.
Just keep throwing it in. You just keep throwing it in.
Mhm.
All right. Well, you two are our favorite couple and the couple of all
Oh, thank you.
couples because you guys keep it real. But you just encourage relationships to last, like
Yeah.
encourage those skill sets and those communications that doesn't have to be perfect. It's not always like honeymoon, but there's tools that you can get through and stay stronger. So give us a little background as to how Eric and Sakeisha became like the
The
love
power couple to watch.
You know, Eric,
Go ahead.
I'm just saying, when you think about it, I guess we don't really see ourselves that way. We see a couple who went from we were like boyfriend and girlfriend to, engaged to husband and wife. And then at the point we became strangers, we wound up becoming roommates and almost strangers and on the verge of divorce. And once we went through that season in our lives and were able to get our marriage back on track, we of course we sought help from pastors and coaches and counselors and stuff. We realized, you know what, we aren't the only couple out there that's going through this. You have a lot of people that are smiling, but they're suffering in silence. And I know what that felt like. I know what it was like to cry myself to sleep at night. I know what it was like to wake up in the morning and look at my spouse and him looking at me and we're like, you're still here, But I mean, we still, we loved each other, but we had grown apart. We're pretty much the one thing we said we didn't want to do is follow in our parents' footsteps. And that's what we wound up doing. So we had to get back on track, getting back to having a marriage that could win and doing the hard work. So once we realized, okay, these are some of the tools and strategies that you can use, we endeavor to continue to pour into other couples saying, hey, if you're dealing with, if you've had to deal with bankruptcy, if you've had to deal with car repossession, if you've had to deal with feeling like you're looking across the table at a stranger, we've been there. And these are the tools that we use to get back on track. And if it'll work for us, hey, by all means, we'd love to share it with you, learn from our mistakes.
Yes, we had a defining moment, yes, in our relationship, and being together 27 years, coming up on 23 years of marriage. And we have been working with couples for about 15 of those 27 years.
Yeah.
And then out of our defining moment in our relationship, we started a business because we were first doing premarital counseling and coaching in ministry through our church, but then we decided to do it where we have more autonomy on our own. And so we have our own business. But out of our defining moment is where we were able to share and be transparent, let other couples know, wow, you guys went through this. And so we're like, yes. And this is why we're not coming from just because we got training or certifications. No, this is coming from real life situation where we've gone through this. And so we know how to utilize, some strategies and some tips so you can overcome what we call the great divide: communication, finance, and I'm going to say it, sex. Those are the issues that causes relationships to fail, not to get to marriage, and marriages to become divorce. So
Well, it's funny that you guys have turned your business into something like this because everyone knows that Tina Torres is single, and I'm still looking for a man.
She's like, everyone knows.
Everyone knows.
Single.
But so many of my married friends, are like, you're so lucky you're single. And I'm like, let me tell you, it is not easy being single and in the dating life. It is a full-time job. And I think if you just work on your marriage or work on what's broken, I think you can fix it. With most cases. In my case, you could not fix it. But in places like yours, and that you guys took the time and you took the energy and you said, you know what, our marriage is worth it. And you were able to fix that.
Well, and there are people that if you're in a destructive, right, in a toxic relationship, right, but that's different than falling apart, right, than not being able to. I mean, my husband and I, we went through that period like we were roommates, right, like it was just we talked to the kids and we did family things. But when he and I were in the car together, we were like, there was nothing. We had nothing to talk about, nothing in common, didn't share life or anything. We were really just roommates. And, having, again, like you said, that defining moment of deciding. And it took us probably 2 or 3 years. And to hear our kids talk about, like, we either were silent or arguing. Like there was like nothing in between, no conversation.
And they remember that, right?
They do. Yeah. They absolutely remember that. But and for us, like we saw the count, like did all the things, you do all the things, and there is hope on the other side. But I remember just being so just at my wit's end and like, this isn't working. I'm yelling. I'm like physically yelling at Jim, like standing on the bed, just like, I'd had enough. And he grabbed me and he kissed me. And it was like he just sucked the devil right out of me. Like the spirit that just wanted to say this relationship is over. And it was just like, I don't know how, I don't know where, but it was like, okay, we're going to figure this out and we're going to get to the other side, because no matter how good of a mom I am, I'm not a good dad. And no matter how great of a dad he is, he couldn't be a good mom. And we still had 3 kids. And if we weren't going to do it for each other, let's figure this out.
Let's do it for them.
Do it for them until we can figure it out for ourselves. And we are coming up on our 28th wedding anniversary.
You guys have about the same amount of time together.
Yeah.
That is
so
awesome.
We definitely have to get together and celebrate. I know, Jay and I are starting a new show, kind of like there's always something new, right? Dynamic duo. And we definitely want to have the 2 of you on, but you also talk to couples or to people who are in like where Tina's at. Like, how does she start, like from the get-go?
How does she start?
With all these people that are coming to her.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, we work with singles as well. And actually we just had a recent speaking engagement, a live one at a church ministry. And the pastor was like, okay, we want you to speak about those that are in waiting, premarital, and marriage. We're like, okay. But yeah, we work with singles because the best thing is to get to the singles first. Mm-hmm. So you can prepare them, give them the strategies, the tips, the keys. So when they get into a relationship and you face the challenges, they know how to deal with them, other than just say, oh, it's too much, I'm done. No, you have something to work with. You have something to fight that battle, that's going to try to divide you, and that way you get that connection. Mm-hmm. So you communicate, but when you communicate, you want to connect, and you start at the dating phase. Mm-hmm. Because you want to find out, is this a person that I want to build a life with? Is this a person I want to build and protect wealth with? Whether it's family or not. You need to know that up front, because that's really one of the top questions that you need to talk about and discuss is, hey, do you want kids or already have kids? If you want kids, how many you want? And then if so, you got to talk about their education, those types of things, putting aside, finances for that. And then where do you want to live? You want to talk about all these things. Where are you in life? What space are you in life? Go ahead.
Well, I have an acronym that I have for the singles, and it's called Get Clear, and it's CLEAR. The C is for getting clarity on what, first you got to be clear on who you are and what you're looking for.
Let me get a tablet. Hold on.
Like, I'm taking notes. Because I'm right there, right? And I bet you there are couples who are like, all right, you know what? This wouldn't be a bad idea for us to have this conversation too.
Right?
Right? Who we were when we first got married is definitely not who we are now, right? Like we're a little more seasoned. In how, so I'm taking notes too.
Okay, so C is definitely getting clear. 1, getting clarity on who you are and what type of person you're looking for. L is just for love yourself. You have got to love yourself before you can love anybody else. Mm-hmm. The E is for express what you expect. A lot of times we're going into relationships expecting them to know, oh, well, they're this age, they should know what a woman wants.
No.
Yeah,
Mm,
but
ain't-
some
ain't-
of them
it
are
ain't true.
completely clueless. They have no idea. You have to
Believe
tell
that.
them.
And probably vice versa too, right? Like especially
Yeah.
if we haven't, there's a lot of different. I remember learning about the 5 love languages, and Jay's love language is acts of service. Well, that ain't mine, right? Like that isn't it. But I realized when he was doing these things, he'd go put gas in my car, right? Wash
He
the car.
was showing you that he loves you,
Yeah,
but that's
and
not your love language. So you didn't know. That's
but
what
I didn't. I just thought he was just being busy and like keeping himself occupied, so he didn't have to spend time with me, right? I'm like getting all flustered and frustrated by it. But when I realized that, I was like, okay, he does love me, and this is how he's showing me love. So I'm interpreting, right, the things that he's doing, and I can receive that, and I don't need him to. I don't know. It was like this. Oh, okay, all right. So even though he's not doing this and spending time with me, like I think he should, he should just know.
Angel, what is your love language?
My love language is words of affirmation.
Okay.
And I used to think it was gifts. And I think for a while I really liked the gifts thing, but now I'm like, I don't know, do they change? I'm like, I just want you to spend time with me and tell me. Don't just tell me you love me, but tell me why. Like tell me, don't say I'm beautiful. Like,
because I
I'm
just
wonderful.
love you.
No, I want to know why. Like what I do. Like what happened right then and there that made you want to like
that made you say I love you, right?
God bless Jay for around all these years.
Yeah, as your relationship evolves, your taste and your love languages change because you go through different stages in life and different phases in life. And so also your body changes and your mindset and perspective of life changes. When you first meet, that's one phase, that's where you're like the excitement phase and the dating phase. And then after a while, you get to know each other. And then if kids come into play, then that's a whole nother stage, another challenge in life. Then you have the challenges of life. There may be, financial challenges, health challenges. It's just, a job, the demands on a business. And if you're an entrepreneur, there are more demands on that. So that's a whole dynamic. So things change in different phases.
Well, and when you talk about that, express what you expect in the dating phase, like I think there's a lot of you're kind of putting on the show, right? Like you don't want to tell them, I don't really like it when you do that. I don't really that I would rather you do it this, like you're so, I think you're so cautious, so you don't express, and then you probably like you fester. I'm a festerer.
Yeah. And you get frustrated because you keep sweeping it under the rug and allowing things to go on. And then eventually it erupts. They're continuously doing something that you don't like, and they wind up doing something minimal. And then here's a huge explosion between the two of you, and you're not really, he's probably clueless, like, what the heck is going on? And, we've had couples where you got mad about them not putting their clothes in the dirty clothes hamper. And it wasn't that. It was the fact that, I've been reminding you about X, Y, and Z for the longest. That's been pushed to the side. And all of a sudden something minimal just causes that explosion because you've been holding it in for so long. But when you start having those conversations from the beginning and expressing what you expect, and it's not like you're their mom, do this, do that. But there are certain things that are really important. If he's kissing you on your neck and you don't like that, well, I wouldn't necessarily say stop, I don't like that, but I would say, when you kiss my hand or whatever, it's a huge turn on, so that way they know you focus on this part, you get the desired result, versus here, it's like, you're not getting much of a result.
Right. Yeah, you don't want to be.
Yeah.
Here, you need this one.
Okay,
so it's clarity, love, love yourself, express, and then
A is allow yourself a time to heal from past hurts and baggage. Sometimes when you're single, you see your friends there, everybody's posting relationships on social media. They're posting this, they're posting that. So in your desire, you're like, oh, I want a relationship, but you haven't healed from the past baggage. You haven't dealt with what caused the issue, and then you jump into a relationship and you wind up doing the next step, which is we tell them to resist the urge to compromise, meaning I just want somebody, so I'm going to do any and everything just to get somebody. Yep. And you wind up being unhappy because you're not authentically being yourself. You're being someone different. And after a while, you're confused around this person. I have to be this way, but this is how I really am. So allow yourself an opportunity to heal, get peace before, how can I, when you're in a relationship, you guys want to be each other's peace. You don't want to be the one that's always bringing the drama and the chaos. And it's not just on the woman's part, it's on the men's part as well.
Right. And I think at this point in my life, being single and doing this dating thing, I have expectations. And I told everyone, I'm not settling. I settled once. I'm not settling again. This is what I want. I'm not going to compromise. God has somebody out there for me, and I'm just like, okay, well, you're not doing it, I'm not gonna settle just for anybody, and it's so hard because you're right, you see all these people, I got engaged, and this is such a, and you're like, oh. It is hard, let me tell you, it's hard being single.
But just when you're in relationships, I just remind everybody, social media is just going to be a snapshot or a snippet of what they want you to see.
Exactly.
You don't always see the
all the
picture.
behind the scenes of how they got that photo.
Right. So I always say, take your time, stay in your own lane, and do those things that's going to bring about the result that you desire. Yeah. Sometimes we get so focused on what's going on in someone else's lane. Remember, when you're driving a car, you need to be focused on your lane. You can be mindful of what's going on around you, but if I keep trying to drive a car and I'm looking this way, I'm going to crash. So I need to stay focused on, okay, what's going on? And that's something we strongly urge in relationships.
Okay, so you guys have like, you deliver content, like you've got books, you've got radio shows, you've got podcasts, like catch us up of all the different ways that you are out there serving couples.
Yeah, we are. And we also actually have something coming up. It's called the Marriage Win Academy. Yeah. That we're going to be releasing that really soon, because we have a summit coming up soon as well, and we're probably going to be announcing it then, but maybe allowing a few people in for early adopters. But the Marriage Win Academy is going to have classes, webinars, based on the level you want to come in, for single, for married, for couplepreneurs, for business owners, you name it. It's going to include based on the different levels. So you have like your register level, which gives you access to just the relationship courses. And from the past, what was it, the Vow to Victory Summit. So you actually get a chance to look at the Vow to Victory Summit vault. And then you got the silver level that actually gives you, well, they all give you free financial analysis, but the silver level gives you more access to like a couplepreneurship trainings, as well as masterminds. So each level has different access. And then the VIP will actually give you VIP access to our couples retreat, VIP coaching, which would be one-on-one coaching with us. And then we have masterminds, VIP masterminds, and then everything that all the other levels entail, which include live events, live conferences, all the courses, the business courses, financial analysis, you name it, the business aspect, the courses, the relationship courses, the couplepreneur courses, you name it.
You name it. You name it. Yeah. I went to your Vow to Victory Summit. You guys bring some really good content together for couples, and and even your last book. What was it? The
Struggling to keep the vows.
Yeah, struggling to keep the vows. Like that is, there's a lot of couples, and it's so funny because you read through it and you're like, yeah, I remember. And if you can get through to the other side, if you can get through it, I mean, it's not pretty. It's like it's got to get worse before it gets better. Like even when you organize, right? You clean out, like it's got to get worse. Before it gets better.
But I mean, people think that marriage is easy. It is not. It is hard work, and it's hard work every single day. It's not just hard work. Yeah.
Parenting's hard. Being a couple is hard. Finances is hard. Being entrepreneurs is hard. Like you throw all of that.
Building a business and finance. Yeah, it's just everything. You know, getting old and having different things happen. Like having different things happen to you.
Yeah. Because your body changes.
Jay had his birthday yesterday, and
happy birthday!
Yeah,
How old did he turn?
he is 58.
Oh my God! You married an older man.
I did marry an older man. I tease him. I'm like, you're gonna be 60. I'm like, I just don't know if I can be married to a 60-year-old. Like, to have a 60-year-old husband. He's like, I'm not there yet.
Oh yeah, but Angel, remember you want me to be part of that 50 club. So you know you're close to that 60 club.
I am close to that 60 club. That is weird. I keep thinking Tina's already 50. I'm like, come on to my box, right? 59.
Resist the light.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's so true. So like being a single and getting back out there dating at 46, it is hard because you do look different than you did when you were 21. You have lumps and bumps and different things that places were not there anymore.
True. But you got to remember, the age is it's just a number, because we've talked with couples in their 60s. Now, of course, they had been married like 3 times before, but still, they were still going. They're in the 60s and the 50s, and they're still going. 70s, you know, I know in her family, you know, they had your grandfather got married in his 70s and again.
He was on his 4th marriage then, but my grandmother got married again in her 70s.
Playboy.
So, yeah.
And body image, like I think, you know, we put a lot. I think sometimes we put far more stock into our body image than the relationship.
Right.
Yes.
Like it just doesn't even matter. Like at some point you're like, I just, you know, it's not a thing, right? It's just, I think we tend to think it is bigger than.
I mean, well, social media and just society, they want women and men to look, you know, a certain way. Listen, on these profiles, when I'm on Match, they're like, I want a girl that does this, looks like this, and this. I'm going, you don't look like Denzel Washington, dude. Like you want a Kim Kardashian look, but you don't look like Denzel. Like you don't look like Shamar Moore. Like how are you gonna how are you gonna want this and you don't look like that?
Yeah.
But that goes, that's
that's
unrealistic, because you have the women and men. Oh, you got to make 6 figures. You got to have your own house. You got to have a nice car. But do you have that? Make 6 figures. Do you have your own house? Do you have, you know, you're expecting something for someone else, and you don't, you know, have anything to bring to the table. You just want to give, want to take, and take.
Yeah.
You know?
Ooh.
And the questions that you ask, like, you know, when you were 20, you didn't really ask questions like, you know, were you married before? Do you have kids? How the kid, you know, do the kids live at home? Like, what do you do for a living? At this age, you're like, so how many times have you been married? What happened to the relationship? Why did you guys get a divorce? How many kids do you have? Do they come to the house all the time? Like, do you have baby mama drama? Do you have a good job?
Conversations are going to be different as you get more mature, because you're going to be looking for different things in life. So, but the good thing is that you get below those surface conversations to find out what somebody's really like. What do they do with their finances? Are they into investing? You know, are they stable financially? Are they stable emotionally and mentally? That's something else you got to find out.
And the more you talk to them, the more things come out, and you're like, oh.
And they kind of go hand in hand, right? Like if you don't have it all together, like emotionally, you tend not to have it all together in the world also. Like those things kind of go hand in hand. Not always. Sometimes, you know, like we lost it all in a bad deal, right? Or, you know, like something happened. But oftentimes they do correlate. So I think we recognize, like if we've got a guy who is stable, like in a job and in like, that means he's also stable emotionally. Like I think we connect that dot together to say that he's got things figured out if he's got this other stuff. But I think it's funny, Eric. You're like, well, do you have any of that stuff? I'm like,
Right.
oh, snap.
Yes, life experiences
Yeah.
changes your perspective.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
when you were 20 versus when you're 35, 39, 40,
Yeah.
and then your experiences with past relationships. Yeah, you've wondered, wait a minute, the last guy or the last woman I was with said that this, and they were putting up a front. They were saying and projecting this lifestyle and saying things to you, but that wasn't really them. So they was putting on a show. They were just a award-winning actor, you know. So yeah, that's where you have to really talk. You got to communicate, you know, and really the best part of it is the listening piece, because once you start the conversation, you listen, and they will start telling all of their baggages, all their bones and skeletons in their closet will start coming out. All you got to do is listen. Sit there and just pull your cup up, get your tea, and just sit there and listen.
Tell me more.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
And then the next thing
Popcorn.
you start hearing things like,
There you go.
what? Really? Tell me more about that.
And then what happened? And what did you do about it?
Yeah. How do
And
you
then
handle that? How does it make you feel?
And then you're out eating,
Yeah.
like, check, please.
But then you get to decide whether that is something if that's a deal breaker for you.
Yeah.
Right.
So, but that's why a lot of times I hear people saying, oh, they're frustrated about the pandemic, but right now it's forcing you more to do more talking, because when we were able to just connect in person, we get caught up in, oh my God, he's so good looking. Oh my God, look at that car. No, right now we've got to do a lot more conversing first. So it's like you get to find out what's going on the inside, and does that match up with what's on the outside? And I think
sometimes it doesn't
really
match up.
important.
Sometimes that pretty person doesn't have a pretty heart.
There you go.
And you know, that goes into our show, our television show. It's called The Millionaire Power Couple. Powering is not easy, because we see couples and they're wealthy and they're famous and everything. And then you think, well, wow, they must have the perfect life. But you don't know the behind the scenes. Yeah. So, you know, we're going to be getting into that. So how did they get there? Where did they start from? And then they look all glitz and glamoury now, but behind the scenes, there may be a boxing match, or, you know, you don't know what it takes. They're probably stressed out trying to keep their wealth, trying to keep their fame. And their roommates, or not even roommates, they probably be on the other, you know, one's in New York and the other one's in Los Angeles. You never know what's going on in their life.
So we do that. And then also this September, right here in Orlando, we're hosting the first annual Making Love Last retreat. It's going to be a small, intimate group of couples. We're renting a huge home in Orlando, and we're going to be bringing the couples in for one-on-one. It's going to be top-notch treatment. They'll have a private chef, but then we'll have some in-depth workshops dealing on their communication, their finances, their sex, working on forgiveness, rebuilding trust. So it's going to be a really, really intensive weekend, but it's going to be a lot of fun too. We'll have some sessions for the wives only, some for the husbands only, then bring them together. So,
almost like that show, Marriage Boot Camp.
Yeah.
I think that the title, like Making Love Last, like you hear the making love, like, oh, look at that. Like,
yeah, so it's going to be awesome. We've got, I think, 3 spots left the last we checked. So
well, how do people connect with you guys?
If they send me an email at marriagecanwin@gmail.com, or connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter under Marriage Can Win, and we could send them the link to the website and the application fee, because because we want to be a small, intimate group. We start getting lots and lots of applications, but we're going in with a couple. So we're going through reviewing all the applications, and we're selecting a few to come on this intensive retreat. So it is going to be amazing. Yes, and that'll be in September of this year here in Orlando.
And the major portal is marriagescanwin.com. There you can get all of our products, because we have t-shirts that are struggling to keep the vows. You can get our mugs, are struggling to keep the mugs, and we have all of our products, our services, our books, our podcast, and also we'll be putting the link on there to the Marriage Can Win Academy there as well. But yes, that's the major spot where you can.
So you need like so we have our like I'm telling you what you need to do. You don't need to do anything.
Okay. No.
You're struggling to keep the vows, but almost like a cross out of it, because we're not struggling anymore, right? Like,
I know, right? Yeah.
we are loving keeping our vows, and we are, we struggled, like not anymore, right?
Right.
We
And I think you should I think you should go into the dating world, because us as single people need help.
Okay.
And let me tell you, the people on Match, more of the guys on Match, they need help too, because the pictures that they be putting on there and the things that they say, you're just like, really?
Well, and the ick that they
ick,
right?
The ick. Really?
Ooh.
Like you're gonna send me that? Really?
Yeah, right from the beginning.
That.
Tina, and I think that watching, Tina go through this, it is just making us really more aware of how lost people are. When it comes to this, is why relationships aren't lasting, right? Because you're going into it from the get-go without clarity. You don't love yourself. You don't express really what you expect. You bring your past baggage with you, like proudly, right?
Yeah, right.
And
in their Louis Vuitton bag.
Yeah. Well,
they can dress it up, but it's still the baggage. So they got to learn to address it. Yeah.
Angel, Tina, this is where it comes down to, and I think it's what's lacking in America, is the family structure. Is the family structure. I say it again, the family structure, because you need to have a mother and a father that are going to teach the children about relationships, teach them about sex, teach them about what it means to get married, the roles, the husband, the wife, teach them about finances, teach them about insurance, investments, teach them about really showing affection, what a marriage means, and the sanctity of it, respect. The boy needs to know how to respect himself and respect the woman. The woman has to know how to respect herself and to respect the man. You need to go through the stages in life. The boy has to know what it means to become a man before he becomes a husband, before he becomes a father. The girl needs to understand what it means to become a woman before she becomes a wife, and then ultimately a mother. And then when you get that stage, when you're a mother and a father, you now have to teach all the life experiences and what you've been taught to your children. So when they grow up, they won't have a clue. They'll have more than a clue what a relationship and a successful relationship looks like, because then they can see it in you. But if they don't see it in you, this is why you have the ick, the ooh when you're dating, because they don't have a clue. All they're going off of are hormones and what they see on television. They have no training. If you want to be excellent at your job, you need some kind of training. If you want to be excellent in a relationship, you need some kind of training. Somebody to tell you what a successful relationship is, right? So that's where it needs to happen, the family structure.
Family structure. You guys are definitely walking the walk and sharing what you've been through so openly, and I think that's a piece too, that like other people struggle, and it's like it's okay, it's part of the process. And we tend to pretend, like put up that smile, right? Like out for everybody else. And then as soon as that car door slams, right, we're like, so like let's get real. Let's fix this, because the more we talk about it, then the less shame there is, the less stigma there is about what's really happening in marriages. Well, you guys are rock stars. I love having you on the show. Love your new set.
I absolutely adore it.
Thank you.
Thank you. It took some convincing.
Yeah.
Yeah. What did you have to give up, Eric? And like, was this like your man cave?
Yeah.
Well, it's still my man cave. I still have my little 70-inch TV, my theater speakers. Just had to, we had to negotiate on the color scheme.
He said
he wanted something manly.
Yes, negotiate on the color scheme, because she wanted.
I think it still looks a lot manly. It's not.
It does? Okay. You like the background?
I love it. It's not pink. It's definitely manly.
Yeah, I do. We do. Like, I want it pretty, but I do. I think about that. I'm like, I know he doesn't want flowers and girly and pink. I want it. There is a way, right, that it can be manly and pretty, masculine and pretty all at the same time.
I think you guys did negotiate very well with the color scheme and how you decorate it. It looks really good.
Thank you. I think he got his new TV out of the deal, so I got agreed to give it. He got a bigger TV.
Compromise.
Yeah, so we compromised. I got the chairs. He got the TV.
Jay has been. He got this app that shows you like what the TV looks like on the wall, like the size.
Oh my gosh.
And
Angel, come here. Look how to look.
Right. And I'm like, I think this one is fine. And he's like, no, it's too small for the wall. And look how
stereo. It has this. Just imagine.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Boys and your TVs, right? I love it. Yeah. You guys have been so much fun. Thank you for being our guests here this morning. Go to marriagescanwin.com. Check out all the resources they've got coming up. And if you're interested or you know a couple that might be a great fit for their Marriage Can Win Academy or their retreat they've got coming up this fall, email them at marriagecanwin@gmail.com. They've got TV shows on. They've got a new TV show coming on the Zandra TV network, which is where you catch the Angel and Tina morning show. They are leading the way in digital streaming platforms, getting your shows on Roku, Apple TV, Chromecast, all those digital streaming platforms. The Angel and Tina morning show has a potential viewing audience of over 250 million people. Stop playing small, right? You know,
I should be able to find a guy in those 250 million, right?
You'd be surprised. You probably have a bunch lined up wanting to say, man, I wish I could get in touch with her. You got to give your email out.
She's like, no. I want it. I know. Yeah.
Right? I was like, oh yeah, no.
You need a filter. You do. We need a dating. We need to put Tina on like a dating show where like all the applicants come in, they have to apply to be a part of it, right? We pick and choose based on their strengths and different things. And they get
I'll have Eric and Sakeisha and I'll have you on there and you guys can kind of, so what would you do if this happened and you guys can kind of funnel them through?
Yeah. And then they get to go to the next phase, right? They pass in. Now they've got to qualify for some different.
You can go on a group date and then you can go on a one-on-one date like the Bachelorette.
All right. So we're going to have a whole reality show called Dating Tina.
Dating Tina.
That would be nice.
Live, real and raw.
Hopefully Zandra is not watching this because she's be like, yes.
I was just thinking, I wonder if Zandra's watching.
Dating Tina. I can see it now.
Datingtina.com. You would like to date Tina? Go to datingtina.com and fill out your application today.
That would be fabulous, right? And then taking you all the way through to, that grand marriage proposal.
That grand marriage proposal. We can have it on live TV, streamed to 250 million people.
Have you like on the NASDAQ screen in New York, right?
Right.
That's right.
It would be my first actual wedding because I got married at the courthouse. So it would be my first actual wedding.
Okay.
So you don't want a courthouse wedding the next time. I'm taking that off.
Make sure you put that on the list. White wedding dress and a nice wedding. Not extravagant, but I deserve a wedding.
It's funny because Jay and I did the wedding, and then years later I'm like, why didn't we just go to Mexico and just like do this? Because it was so stressful. It was so for everybody else. Like, right? Like sometimes the wedding is more for family than it is for.
You are correct. That's what we did.
Our second wedding was for family. Our first wedding, we just took our mothers and we went to the Bahamas and eloped.
Yeah, got married on the beach in the Bahamas, just our moms.
A beach wedding would be nice.
That would be lovely. That's right up my alley. All right. Well, this is we're so excited, right? This is the bright start to your day. This is one of the reasons why we bring you the Angel and Tina Morning Show is these fabulous guests who just inspire us. They pull back the veil. You get to see some behind the scenes, get to learn a little bit more about them than you might like on a traditional presentation. And we laugh and we cry and we encourage and we lift up. And you two have just brought the house down today. We're loving the new studio, loving you guys I'm watching your journey. And I think that, streaming and technology gives us that peek into watching how others are elevating and what you guys are doing for marriages and for families. It's just priceless. It is just absolutely priceless. And Dr. Sakeisha, I want to honor you on Women's History Month because you are definitely a woman making history. And so we recognize you on Women's History Month. I'm Angel Tussey. I am your Media Mastery matchmaker. We have the Connect Summit that we do every single month. Make sure you put that on your calendar for the last Wednesday of the month. Eric and Dr. Sakeisha are going to be guest speaking on that later on in the year. So make sure you put that on your calendar, connectvirtualsummit.com. And if you're just thinking, I need more exposure, I've got a book, I've got a business, I've got a brand, I need some media and some publicity, you can get started by grabbing your complimentary media starter kit at my website, makeyourbigimpact.com. That's makeyourbigimpact.com. Or grab a copy of my book, ABCs of Exposure, everything you need to know to create more media and publicity for you. But go to makeyourbigimpact.com. The link is there, and super excited to give that to you as my gift.
Right? I love it. I am actually going to close up and head back home to North Carolina right after this. I'm going home. I've been here for a week. I enjoyed my time here in Atlanta. And let me just tell you, the people here, I love being able to come down and just kind of relax and get away. But I am Tina Torres, your client retention expert, otherwise known as the Gratitude Specialist. You can still get your book, Beyond Gratitude, on Amazon. If you go to beyondgratitudebook.com, you can get it for just $5. Grab one, grab 5, grab 20, send them all to your team, your team members or whoever you are doing business with. It's always also you can get strategies to attract, connect, and convert more prospects in that book. All the things that you need to build better relationships in your business and create that lifetime client, helping you work smarter, not harder, which we all need. So we will see you. We are Angel and Tina. I was just going to go straight to the end. We are Angel and Tina on the Angel and Tina Morning Show, where we come to you live every weekday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern. We will see you guys tomorrow. Have a fabulous Wednesday. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.